Hey guys, welcome to the last week of this 8-week cycle and the last week of the 2021 year. So we've been doing squat variations on Monday, and we're going to be finishing off with overhead squats today. So our protocol for today will be 2 overhead squats every 90 seconds for 5 sets. This is going to be building, starting around 65%. I always talk about with overhead squats, because this is a hard movement for some people based on mobility, how to approach this. So number one priority is our shoulder position. So when you're coming out of the rack, if you're going to be going a little heavier, you can use a rack. If it's really light, you might go from the floor. But out of a rack, starting on your back, you're going to stand up, take a step back, find your grip. So make sure you're even on both sides, and then you're going to jump the bar up overhead. So basically like a push press. So dip and drive, get the bar overhead. Now lock the shoulders in place. So we want to see that the armpits are facing forward. And there's a slight flex in your wrists. Your arms are always locked out, always pushing up. Find your squat stance. Keep your eyes and chest up, right? And give your best overhead squat. Okay, you're going to do 2 reps, all right? Drop it back to your back, and then back in the rack. If it was ever too heavy, if you were like tired, you're not comfortable, you can just drop the bar if you need to, instead of lowering it to your back. So when I talk about the shoulder position, the main thing you want to avoid, I'll show with a PVC pipe, is that you get the bar up over your head, and then as you start squatting, you drop your head or the shoulders rotate down, okay? So you want to make sure that that's nice and stable. So one way that you can scale this is starting really light, even a PVC pipe, 15-pound bar, and do what we call a tempo squat. So basically move slower. So set yourself up, and then just take your time. There's a lot to think about of the balance of the bar, the shoulder position, pushing the knees out, taking your time, so it's not heavy, but you're moving slower, so there's more tension in your upper body, so it's only 2 reps. So that's one variation that you can do. The other is just to work range of motion, so don't focus on getting that squat all the way down if you can't maintain a good shoulder position, so go as deep as you can, and then if you can't do an overhead squat at all, just substitute a front squat for today. All right, so that's our strength. Let's talk about conditioning. All right, guys, our conditioning today is going to be 3 different movements. It's going to be rope climbs, air squats, and then 4 different versions of core work in between. So the way this is going to go, we're going to start off with 60 air squats. Then we're going to do 4 rope climbs, and then 60 sit-ups. In the next round, we're going to go down in reps. So it's going to be 50 of a core exercise, and then 3 rope climbs, and then 50 air squats. So I'm going to go through the rope climb, and then I'm going to go through the air squat, and then we'll talk about the different ab or core variations. So rope climb. So always have some type of shin protection. So I have pants on. If you're wearing shorts, put like one of the knee pads, shin guards to protect your skin. All right, because we're going to use an anchor. We're going to use our feet to help us climb the rope. So for those that, if you are not strong enough to just hang on the rope, that's the prerequisite strength. You need to be able to just hang like this with straight arms. Okay, that's the prerequisite strength to be able to climb the rope. If you cannot do that yet, you're going to do what's called a rope lower. So you're going to straddle your feet and the rope. Start with your hands nice and high. Try to keep your body as straight as you can. And you're going to lower yourself down to the floor, and then you're going to pull yourself back to the top. And again, try to keep your body as straight as you can to make it challenging for your upper body. Okay, so that's called a rope lower. For those that are learning the anchor, all right, again, of course, have a coach help you with this. But main thing here is learning how to start your foot. So if you look at what's happening here, the rope's in the center of my body, and I'm going to lift my knee as high as I can. And the rope goes from the inside of my body, from the center of my body, to the outside of my foot. Okay? I'm going to reach my hands up really high. So when I'm first learning, I'm not going to start by jumping. Okay? So I'm going to have my hands really high, and this is that split second where I'm going to hang. Okay? So you have to be strong enough to hang for a quick moment. And I'm going to take my other foot, and I'm going to smash it between my other foot and the rope, okay? This is not a strong anchor until I straighten my back leg. So basically you stand and pull at the same time. Once I do that, then I can reach my hands up high again, okay? And I would say you know it's a good anchor if you can let go one hand, okay? So as I move up the rope, again, my hands are nice and high. I'm going to lift, again, watch my arms. I'm not going to pull early. I'm going to lift my knees up, set my feet again, and then I pull. Okay, so the idea is I'm not pulling my whole body weight up with just my arms. Okay, I'm standing and using my arms at the same time. Okay, go as high as you feel comfortable. Ideally, you go 15 feet up for prescribed. But again, if you're not comfortable, make sure you can lower yourself down. okay? And then you can hop off, and that's it, okay? So again, if you're just learning, go as high as you feel comfortable. You're gonna have a decent number of reps to do today, so that is our rope climb, all right? Air squats that we're performing, this is a basic movement. Main thing, make sure you get good deep squat, and then stand up all the way, okay? When you're doing a lot of reps really fast, sometimes people stop short, and more commonly, I think they don't open up at the top. You might lock your knees, but make sure you also open your hip every single rep, okay? So just be hard on yourself there. Now, the core stuff. So this is the one that we're going to do a few different variations. So it's going to start off with the simplest when we're doing more reps, and it's going to go down into more challenging. So the first thing is 60 ab mat sit-ups for the first round. Remember, the fat side of the pad goes closer to your body. All the way down on the back side, my shoulders touch, hands touch, swing my arms up. So I sit all the way up at the top, my shoulder over my hip every single rep, okay? From there, the next round is going to be 50 V-ups, okay? So the V-ups, start laying on the ground. This is a scale for toes to bar often. You start in a hollow position and then you snap up, okay? And if you notice, at the top, I'm only sitting on my butt, right? We don't want to finish with our back on the ground like this where it feels just like a crunch, okay? You want to try to time it so that at the top, you're only on your butt. A scale for this can be tuck-ups. Same concept, okay? And don't let your feet and arms flop to the ground every time. You want to try to keep tension in your core. You might feel this in your low back if you do that, all right? The next core exercise will be Russian twists, okay? So Russian twist is feet off the ground. You're going to tap the ball on either side, okay? Pretty straightforward. You can adjust the weight as needed for that. And then the last one is 30 GHD sit-ups. We love the GHD for developing core strength. For busier classes, one way to make sure that everyone gets on this is to go out of order. So you can maybe do these first and someone else can do them later. But the setup for this, you want to adjust the pad so that your butt is on the downward slope here, okay, when you put your feet in. All right, and watch my legs. The key here is that we're going to be using our hip flexor, our quad, to help create power. So starting, hands go across the chest. You come down to just past parallel, watch my legs. And I flex my quads, watch my legs, as I sit up, okay? So you don't want your knees to be locked out the whole time. And you don't want them to be soft the whole time. You want to basically watch them do that. Every rep, they go loose. As you sit up, you flex your quads. As you get better, you can do the full range of motion, arms overhead. Full range of motion is the prescribed movement, all right? Now, if they don't have these in class, something that you can substitute can be a weighted sit-up. So you get your ab mat, the medicine ball that you're using. So similar concept. You come down, touch the ball behind your head, and then sit up. Okay, to make it a little more challenging. But that is our workout for today, guys. So have fun with it. 20-minute time cap. See you tomorrow.